share this analogy. It comes up quite a bit. I think when we have ADHD or ADHD tendencies, there tends to be a feeling of just not doing it right, just not like the struggle feels hard, whether it's around planning, organizing, implementing, showing up consistently, whatever it is. And I think the thoughts that I see through my clients over and over, experience for myself at times is like, it seems like it's not that hard to figure out. Like I should be able to get this, right? I look around and so many other people are getting it. And so I want you to think of this analogy. Imagine you're a freshwater trout swimming in a creek, right? And you are like the top trout. Everyone knows you. You're like super productive, busy, up and down the creek all day, doing all the things that a freshwater trout does. And then you kind of glance over, you hear about this place called the ocean, you get brought over there and you find yourself in new territory. And all of a sudden you are unable to keep up. You feel tired, you're worn down, you feel lost, you have no sense of direction. All you see is water everywhere. It's harder to breathe. You tell yourself, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm a fish, I can swim. What's the deal? Why does this feel so challenging, right? Why can't I do the things that I see the other fish in the water doing? Which direction do I go, right? And we're thinking it's just about us, the fish. Fish should be able to swim in water. That's the belief. Well, in the creek, the banks are on the side, so there's structure, there's clarity, you know which way to go. It's like one way or the other. In the ocean, there's a lot of the time, there's not going to be any structure. There's no bank that you can see for miles around. There's just going to be open water. Not only that, the water's different. There's salt in it. So it's going to be harder on your body. It's going to be harder on your lungs, harder to breathe. It's going to be harder on your mind because you're going to try to figure it out a lot more than you would if you were just existing in your freshwater creek. And so, yes, while water's water and fish are fish, the environments are different. And so I think when we're expecting a more neurodivergent brain to fully and optimally function in the parameters of a more neurotypical situation, and then beating ourselves up when it doesn't happen the way that we think it should, it's like a freshwater fish swimming in the ocean, right? The environments are similar. There's people, there's buildings, there's structures, but just the expectations and the way the brains kind of work in each environment are really different. So I don't know if anyone can relate to that or if you have questions. I just thought this has come up so many times this week, and the analogy has been helpful for some people. So wanted to share that. Also, if you're a parent of a child who is neurodiverse or has ADHD, I think it can be really helpful to keep that in mind, right? So sometimes the challenges around parenting in that sense come because we're expecting a freshwater fish to swim in the saltwater ocean, and we're fully like backing the story of the ocean, which doesn't help our child, doesn't help us because it can be frustrating. So just kind of realizing what's going on and noticing that difference and like, oh, okay, my child might be a freshwater fish trying to swim in an ocean. What can I do to help them? How can I create structure? How can I make it easier for them to breathe? Meaning, how can I create more space in their schedule, more downtime, some accommodations, right? How can I help them to breathe? How can I help them to spend time with like-minded individuals and support their creative endeavors? How can I give them more time in the creek so that they're not only in the ocean 100% of the time? So I think from a parenting perspective, that can also be really helpful.